Hi. So I'm editing this video right now, and halfway between, well, pretty much done editing, I was just adding like basically the music at the end, and my thing glitched out and basically corrupted the very first 4 minutes of this video. And so my intro and before I started painting all of the sculpture, well, it's just the one sculpture, it's gone. So I don't have that footage anymore. Yay. She's ready to go to bed. She's mad at me. Or she was mad at me. She decided to just go to sleep. So you see I'm laying here. It's midnight. I'm trying to post this video tomorrow, or today, I guess. And I've been sitting here for like 3 hours just trying to see how to fix it. And I'm at the conclusion where I cannot fix it. The file's gone. Because it was still in my gallery, that's why. So it was like, oh, but then the file itself in the gallery is just like gone. It's unsupported or whatever. So I don't have that. So this is my intro of me laying in my bed with my little princess. And I don't know. I'm just gonna say this is a Fix It Friday. I have I took pictures of them beforehand, so yay me for thinking to do that. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I know she doesn't like me talking. So we're painting the little magical cactus plant, this, because I said in my video that I wanted to add some depth to it. It doesn't go as planned, really, and I think I still have the footage of me explaining that, hopefully. Okay, go on. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, because, like, whatever. So this is a cactus. I'm repainting it. I said I would do it in a Fix It Friday, and I am. Doesn't go as planned. I think I still have the video of me explaining it. Then I have this symbol that is the Stormlord symbol of not Laura Bailey, of Ashley Johnson's character Yasha from Critical Role. And then I have one little extra thing I'm gonna do. It's in the middle, you'll see it. It's really short and sweet. And then yeah, that's our Fix It Friday. So I don't really know what else to add. And I'm so bummed that my half of the video basically got messed up. So I'm just gonna cut to what I have, and I hope you still enjoy. Let's get to it. So redoing the voiceover real quick. My problem was the paint wasn't sticking to the statue, so I had to figure it out, mix a few other paints of different brands. Ended up doing an ombre and filling in some of the cracks in the bottom cactus dark green, and then faded up into a light green at the points. Alright, now that I got my darker parts darker, I want to make my lighter parts lighter. So the tip points, all the little points on the cactus, not the little spikes, but the points of the actual cactus, you understand, I'm gonna paint lighter. So I'm taking these two greens and I'm mixing them so it's not super light, but you know, still light enough, and I'm just dabbing them on the tips of the little spikes and just blending those down into the darker, just to, I guess, like ombre it a bit. Just to make it lighter. You get the point. So here's a time lapse of that. Alright, moving on to the thorns of the cactus. These are the two paints I thought I was going to use. I'm actually going to use that red one, but I'm not going to use the orange because the orange was actually a lot darker than I really wanted. And so I go back and use a brighter orange later. I wanted to ombre all the little spikes, like I ombre'd the cactus itself, but that was just honestly too much to try to ombre these little spikes with this tiny brush, and so I just mimic it in a way. So I'm painting all the spikes red, and then I go in with my light orange and just kind of like dab on the tops of them, and then like swish my brush around the tip just to kind of semi blend it. And then I go in with the end of my brush and I dip it in the bright orange and just kind of like poke the tips of it just to add like a little dot to the tip of each spike, just to kind of emulate that they're really pointy. And so yeah, I hope that turns out well. So here's a time lapse of that. All right, moving on to the soil, the plant. I cover it with this lighter brown that I actually really hate. And so to kind of make it look a little better, I add some lighter brown, some darker brown, and some black. And then I start to blot it with a paper towel to kind of lift some of the paint up to hopefully add some texture. I did have the idea to make fake soil like I did for the DIY plant air freshener, but I was being lazy, I guess, and I just didn't want to make fake soil, so we're just gonna paint it brown and call it a day. All right, now moving to the pot. I mixed this light brown and dark brown together, and then I didn't really like how that turned out. It was just a little too beige for me, so I tried adding some of that orange and realized I needed a lot more orange, and I put a lot more orange in there, and then a little bit of red to kind of get I don't know, more of a tanner color. And I want to do that thing where you add the baking soda, as you see, which that probably was enough. And then I went ahead and added more, which I think is way too much. I've never done this before, but if you know, you know this is a paint to kind of make it look like a clay pot when you add the baking soda to it. And I don't know if it's baking soda or baking powder. I don't know the difference really. So I don't know if that matters either. It probably does. But I think it's baking soda. So I ended up adding more of that lighter brown to it to kind of add more liquid to hopefully combat to how much baking soda I added, which didn't help. So I paint it. It looks okay in the end, but definitely not what I intended it to look like. And I'm definitely gonna have to try this again just to see if I get the proportions right and actually like, I don't know, research it to actually see how to do it instead of just thinking, oh, I think I remember how to do that. So yeah, this is me just painting the pot, and I'm just gonna set it to the side to dry and we'll come back to it. Now while that's drying, here is my empty memory vial, and I'm gonna turn it into my own memory vial. On my cruise, I collected little glass vials full of ocean water from the ports. And look how crazy this is. The waters are kind of yellow in the Cayman Island and the Jamaican one, but the Cozumel, clear water. Beautiful water. And it is probably the favorite and most clearest water while I was there too. But it wasn't that yellow when I first bottled it, which I think is crazy. And they were full bottles and they have lost a lot of water from being in there. And the cork doesn't help because the cork doesn't really seal it. And as you see, there's sea salt on top of the corks. So I really need to transfer it before all the water does evaporate. And so we're going to do Jamaica today because that is the least amount of water out of all the three. And this is my smallest memory vial. So before I put the water in the memory vial, I'm going to write my memory on the vial. And so it's Jamaica, June 28th, 2022. Don't come at me for my penmanship. I know it's terrible. It's always been terrible. So going ahead and pouring in my ocean water. And look how much it actually fills up. I was afraid it was going to be a little too low, but I think it's actually pretty perfect. And I like that the water is kind of yellow because the memory vials have all like, I don't know, the water's not clear. It's like cloudy and some of it looks gross and yellow. So I kind of like how this one is kind of yellow. But to seal it, I'm gonna just take some super glue and put it all around the glass stopper and shove it down in there. And there we go. There is my first actual personalized memory vial, my trip to Jamaica. Super cool. I love it, and I can't wait to have more of these. I have in my little sticker book the like labels for the memory vials. Here are two other ones that I have. But I also have like the outline of them, like the stencil of them, so I can make more if I want to using sticker paper. So yeah, this one is probably the prettiest one, and I didn't keep the stencil for this one. So I'm gonna see if I can try to recreate it. All right, now moving on to our last fix-it item. It is the little Stormlord symbol. So this is what it normally looks like with the blue lightning bolts, but I don't know, I just feel like I want them white. I don't know, to me that just seems. But one thing to note, because it was a resin printed, it does not hold the acrylic paint well. It really needs a special kind of paint that I don't own. So for any of the paint to stay on, I had to first do a thin coat of Mod Podge just to make the surface a bit textured and tacky, just so it can hold on to some paint. So I did a thin layer of Mod Podge and then I just paint it. And then I go back in with some Mod Podge over the red little diamonds, hopefully just because it's a glossy Mod Podge, hopefully just to add a little gloss to it because those are supposed to be gemstones. So I want it to glisten a little bit, like stones do. But yeah, as you see, pretty simple. This one is just white, silver, and red. And then it is almost time for the final reveal of both of them.